Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. I'm an intuitive and Akashic Records reader, astrology girly, and certified NLP coach. I honestly don't really like to go by the labels of coach, healer, mentor, light worker, energy worker, etc. I'm just here to serve as your mirror, and as a deeply spiritual human, I hope to embody the path to radical authenticity, to self-sovereignty, and a life filled with passion and purpose. Today, we're going to talk about the journey that it took to get my light language to activate and what happened when it did. It was so fucking rad. So I'm excited to share. If you are here, I would like to quickly ask, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I do make these videos. I do edit them all by myself, and it is a labor of love. So if you are here, if you like what I have to say, stick around. Let me know. You know, DM me, comment me. We love engagement. One more thing before I get started. I'm officially offering in-depth astrology natal chart reports. These are a written report where I go deep into your sun, moon, rising, your Mars, your Venus, your Mercury, your Saturn. I'm trying to remember all the planets, Jupiter, and some of the asteroids, and then also your north and south node, in addition to your Chiron wound. These will all be really important to help you kind of ground in, and reflect on who you are, your journey, your gifts, and kind of what your life's purpose is. So if you are interested at all in that, you have found the right person, because I yap about astrology all fucking day to my friends and they're probably sick of it, but you get me. So if you go to my Substack, if you go to my Instagram, follow me on both of those places, at both of those places, then DM me for a code. You will get 20% off your report, and it gets better because I am offering an optional integration call to expand on the report, on what we have arrived at, and any of the astrological transits that may or may not be currently affecting you. So if that sounds good, hit me up. All right, back to it. So I recently had my light language come online during a mushroom trip in Costa Rica, and it was so awesome. And because I know so many people are looking to activate their gifts, whether that's light language or not, I just want to share this part of my journey because I think it's very fun. I think it's going to be very helpful, regardless of whether you're trying to get light language or some other kind of cool ancestral galactic wisdom and technology. Um, so yeah, this all started back in August, honestly. So this is when I got my Akashic Records reading after experiencing a very vivid past life activation. And so I was asking questions about what I saw because I was literally like gaslighting myself. And the records ended up telling me that one, engaging in past life regression via the Akashic Records was beautifully aligned, ergo why I'm here. But also they mentioned plant medicine and light language. And I was surprised, as I honestly didn't know much about light language at that point, but the records had said it would take, an activation, and they mentioned mushrooms. And in order for that to arise, what would happen during that activation is they would send a beam of light into the crown of my head, and light language would appear, I guess. I don't know. That's what I expected, at least, but it was not that easy. um, so I ended up taking like a microdose level of shrooms, probably like less than a gram, probably about 2 weeks after that had happened, after that reading. It was not a trippy experience. Like the colors were vivid and it was like still nice, but I didn't really get anything. I honestly did meditate for a little bit during the come up, and I did witness the like beam of light hitting my head. It was just like, I could see it in my mind's eye with my eyes closed. Like I just saw a pillar and I was like, oh, and I started crying because I was like, wow, look at this. It's happening so easy. I was wrong. So wrong. um, anyways, I was really confused because I was like, nothing happened, so naturally, as a curious person, I went and bought some like real magic like mushrooms, and I took them. Like the microdose level I took was like a pill capsule, but I actually bought like just mushrooms this time. And I was in yeah, for some major shadow work. I'm not going to get into it during this video, but I was, like, screaming, crying, throwing up, and having birthing contractions, so, um, yeah, yeah, it was tough, and it was not hee hee, ha ha like I expected, and honestly, this happened a couple more times on shrooms, and I, like, kinda changed set and setting to, like, figure out, like, maybe it's that. I just had to do some shadow work for real. Um, so I decided to hold off and not force it because your girl had a lot going on emotionally, mentally, like, spiritually, financially. Honestly, I've been going through it, so I decided, this will wait because this is just not the time. Okay, so a few months passed by. I honestly kind of forget about it because, like, I was busy and, like, having mental breakdowns and, like, spiritual dark night of the souls left and right. But I also had planned an ayahuasca retreat during this 2025 spring eclipse portal. And so that retreat was to take place in Costa Rica. So I was, like, very excited to work with this facilitator and the shaman for, like, just, like, spiritual purposes, not only like, not even to really activate the light language, but, like, maybe, like, "Oh, maybe this will be, like, a fun, happy little side effect," right? Um, so, yeah, I hadn't experienced these facilitators before either. They were honestly amazing. This was the most powerful few ceremonies I've ever experienced, and I will definitely be going back there. But overall, nothing really happened during the Aya that was, inducing for light language or anything, like, nothing really came through. Um, the only thing I am just now remembering is that, like, the night before ceremony, as I was falling asleep, like, in my mind's eye, I was starting to see, like, some codes come through, and I ended up drawing them. I'll go ahead and, like, share them real quick. They're gonna pop up here. There you go. Yeah, so then nothing happened during the ceremony, and I was like, "Cool, fine, whatever." I ended up spending a few days in a sleepy little beach town called Uvita, to integrate the work, and there were a few other ladies there. We ended up, in this villa, and we ended up buying some psilocybin chocolate bars from this, like, 15-year-old working at the counter of a vegan restaurant in Dominical. It was so funny because he was like, "Yeah, there was penis envy, there's, Jedi mind fuck or something," whatever whatever it was. And it was just funny that, like, literally, like, a teenager was selling us shrooms in Costa Rica. Honestly, fun fact, weed is not legal in Costa Rica, but shrooms and, like, ayahuasca are. So very, very interesting, but overall, Costa Rica was so fun. Okay, so then a night later, we ended up having an early dinner, and then we came back to take the mushroom chocolate bars. I think I had, like, about 1.25 grams, which is really a light serving, lighter than I expected to need for a light language activation. So I'll try to set the scene. We were at our villa. It was beautiful. We had a pool. It was great. In our swimsuits. I was taking a swim. It was nighttime. The pool lights were on. We had like we had the medicine music on. We were just chilling. Very vibing, very vibey. Um, but the pool had, like, these tiny, like, probably, like, 1 square inch tiles, like, just like those, but they're blue, obviously, like, that's how small they were, and then so you're seeing all the grout, it was cool. So I was just being a silly, goofy girl, floating in the water and kind of enjoying, like, the sensation and the lights and the ripples, and then I started kind of looking at the space in between the bottom of the pool and the tile and the water rippling over it, and, then the lights it was cool. The lights were, like, really trippy too because the tile, was blue and they had, like, a pink light, so then it was like I was floating in the void and it was very 3D because red and, like, blue, it's, like, 3D vibes. It looked really cool. I'm trying to explain it, but it sounds probably a little stupid. Um, but yeah, I was just floating and, like, the light language, it started coming through, like, and, like, looking between the ripples and the distortion. Um, it was sick. So, it was just, like yeah, I was letting my eyes lose focus. I ended up jumping out of the pool to grab my markers and my sketch pad, and it was honestly a lot of my eyes because I was, like, really reading into it. But yeah, that's when the codes were coming through, and, it was cool. So I started drawing them. So I'll include the photos, but, like, don't judge me because I was overstimulated. There was still a lot going on, like the water, the lights, like, the music and stuff, and I'm still new to this, so Yeah, I ended up taking a video of it too, just because I was like, "This is so cool. I wanna see if, like, I see this the next day," because obviously when you're fucked up, you're like, "Oh my god," you take a picture and it's like then you look back at it and it's literally just a tree, it doesn't look anything doesn't look, like, trippy at all, but the next day I could still see, the codes running through the water, so I was like, like, this is a good sign." So I'll include that video too, and I'll also include this, like, little, selfie I took of the pool, you can kinda see the code in it, so enjoy. Um, okay. So then after that, I ended up, like, going to get in the shower because it was getting late and I was tired, but I was still, like, on on one. So I was just, rinsing off the pool water, still shroomed out, I had my music on, I was singing a little bit, and then I just, like, let my voice go, and something just took over me, and it just came through, and it was really much like a babble. I was kind of just, like it was literally it sounded similar to that, like, that was me forcing, like, a random noise. That wasn't light language, but it sounded very similar, and I couldn't control it, but then it got louder, and it was, like, definitely becoming a song or some kind of, like, chant, and it kinda started sounding like this Egyptian yodel erupting out of my mouth. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I ended up sending, like, one of my friends, like, a voice note, and I was, like, listening to it back, and I was like, "This is so cringy." It's something I'm definitely nervous about sharing, and I'm still kind of nurturing that as well because I don't really sing in front of people or anything, so I'm gonna probably keep that to myself for a bit and keep practicing because it's definitely, like I think, adopting any other language or, like, as a child learning to speak, it's a babble. And so, yeah, like, it's very much a chant, though, is kind of what I'm kind of realizing. Um, but then as it was coming out of my mouth, like, my hands were just doing all the things. They were kind of, like, weaving the notes and, like, doing the light language, like I was seeing it in my hands, like, kind of, "Oh, that's a code," you know? It was super cool. Um, yeah, I don't really know if I could recreate it right now. I'm not gonna force it. So yeah, I mean, I think perhaps I will have to take maybe some more mushrooms to get the vocal activation really on point, but that's okay. I have been drawing and painting since then, sober, so that's cool. Um, like I said, I took a video of the pool, and so like when I was on my layover on my flight home, I ended up kind of drawing what I could see still, and I'll include that as well. It was super cool, and I've always been artistic and very sensual, moving, like, my hands and my body, so, and, like, just somatic when it comes to my process, like, I'm realizing that with, plant medicine too is just really beneficial for moving the energy through, getting the downloads because it's like you can kinda overthink, but when you're in your body, you steps aside so that, like, cosmic you or soul or creator, whatever you wanna consider it, like, can really activate. So for me, I have been listening to music that's very activating, that's inspiring me and like creates this intense urge to dance and mindfully move. And that helps the light codes come through because then I just hop in front of my sketch pad or like a canvas and I'm like, period. It was cool. So, yeah, so just the other day, I decided to pick up on an old painting that I hadn't finished. I had gotten the, like, sky and the clouds and the partial of my body painted. Oh, I like the little bird there too. But the idea came from the Akashic Records, so I ended up having a reading, I wanna say in December or January, where the practitioner communicated, that she saw me getting, like, kicked out of an airplane with no parachute, and I was just, like, free falling in the sky, like, falling through the clouds, and then I ended up, surrendering to certain death and enjoying the view at least, and, like, just being grateful for those last moments, but then ultimately, I ended up being, caught by the waves of the ocean. They rose up to meet me, and so I decided now was the time to finish it because that's exactly the space I'm in, is surrender.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my first official painting with light codes. I'm really proud of it. It's not perfect, but it's mine, and I hope it serves. I've been reflecting a lot about, my experience with ayahuasca and just, like, this period of my life, about what it means to serve and, like, what unconditional love really, like, looks like to embody and about surrender and passion. And so I found that, surrender isn't something, like, that you do like, you don't surrender to the unknown or to fear or, like, death or just, like, uncertainty. It's honestly, in my case, like, surrendering to passion, and to, like, what lights me up and to what inspires me because, like, the energy that passion is just, like, pure creation energy, right? So, like, all I have to do is step aside and allow creator to work through me, allow the passion to work through me, and that's honestly what happens, like, when I dance, and wow, I'm about to cry. That's what happens when I, like, dance, and that's what happens when I, like, draw and paint, and, yeah, so the light codes in this are beautiful, like, rosy red to kind of reflect that, like, passionate intensity, to illustrate the flames of passion and remind you that surrender isn't actually giving up, it's calling in the creator, and so I am definitely in this phase of life where I don't know what's next. If you're watching this, like, really early, like, my YouTube has no subscribers, and, like, none of my fucking Instagram reels get any fucking views, and, like, TikTok is kind of similar, and I'm just, like, not seeing the movement that I want, but I'm really coming into this space of embodiment and surrender, and that's all that I wanna do is just keep creating, so I hope this serves, I hope it sparks something in you. Um, if you like this video, please like it, please subscribe. If you have any questions about light language in general, let me know. I probably don't have all the answers, and that's fine, but, if my process helps you, then I hope it serves, like, go for it. It's definitely something that requires an activation, but there is so much that you could do with light language, and so I'm excited to keep nurturing the skill and keep painting because, like, I have so much creative energy, like, since my retreat, since this download, and I'm so grateful for all of it. I'm so grateful to be in this space of surrender because it's not about what's next, it's about what the creator, you know, does through me. So I'm just like, show me what else you got. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.